The allure of wealth, luxury, and opulence has captivated the human imagination for centuries. The lives of billionaires with their luxurious mansions, fancy cars, private jets, and yachts have often been the stuff of dreams. However, reality can be harsh, and for some, the dream turns into a nightmare. So today I'll take you to the shocking downfall of 8 billionaires. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and that little notification bell icon so that you don't miss out on any of our video updates. Plus, it helps us spread the Thrive Wise love to help more people thrive wisely. Now, let's begin. Number 1. Sean Quinn. Sean Quinn, once considered the richest man in Ireland, amassed substantial wealth through investments in various industries, including plastic, glass, and hotels. Additionally, he held a 25% stake in Anglo-Irish Bank, which had to be bailed out by taxpayers during the 2008 financial crisis. The government's takeover of the bank triggered a series of legal disputes between the Quinn family and the bank. Quinn's fortune took a severe hit when the Irish Bank Resolution Corp claimed he owed them more than 2 billion euros. Subsequently, he faced contempt of court charges for attempting to hide his property assets to avoid repaying his debts. In November 2011, it was reported that Quinn claimed his assets were less than £500,000 and had applied for bankruptcy. The animosity towards Quinn and his company was evident when Kevin Lonnie, a close friend and director of Quinn Industrial Holdings, was abducted and beaten in 2019. Number 2. I.K. Batista. I.K. Batista once harbored dreams of becoming the world's wealthiest individual. His aspirations, however, came crashing down when his once thriving oil company OGX declared bankruptcy in 2013. The self-made billionaire was renowned for his extravagant lifestyle and served as a role model for younger generations in Brazil. At one point, Batista's net worth approached $30 billion, earning him a place on Forbes' list as the 7th richest man in the world. However, when OGX failed to meet its obligations and the Brazilian economy deteriorated, Batista had no choice but to file for bankruptcy in 2013. In January 2017, Batista faced further legal trouble as he was charged with money laundering and corruption during investigations into Brazil's top companies. In July 2018, he was sentenced to 30 years in prison for bribing former Rio de Janeiro Governor Sergio Cabral. On March 24, 2020, it was announced that Batista had reached a deal with Brazilian authorities. Under the terms of the agreement, he would serve 4 years in prison, repay $160 million, and cooperate with prosecutors. The court's validation of the deal was still pending at the time, with the funds from the fine intended to be used in the fight against the coronavirus. Number 3. Elizabeth Holmes. Elizabeth Holmes was once hailed as a rising star in Silicon Valley. She was the founder of Theranos, a blood testing company that garnered significant attention in the early 2000s. Theranos promised to revolutionize healthcare by providing quick and affordable blood tests. By the end of 2004, the company had raised approximately $6 million from private investors, some of whom had close ties to Holmes herself. However, as the excitement around Theranos grew, so did skepticism about the company's practices and regulatory compliance. In 2012, Lieutenant Colonel David Shoemaker raised concerns with the Food and Drug Administration when Holmes attempted to secure approval for a military test run. Subsequently, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services conducted an inspection of the company, discovering that the device was still under development. Tensions escalated at Theranos, and major partnerships with Safeway and Walgreens fell apart in 2015 and 2016 respectively. In 2016, the CMS concluded that Theranos testing might endanger patient safety. Amid lawsuits, layoffs, and federal allegations of massive fraud, Theranos closed its doors in 2018, narrowly avoiding bankruptcy. Elizabeth Holmes handed over control of the company and paid $500,000 to settle charges by the SEC. She and her former partner Ramesh Sunny Balwani were charged with wire fraud by the Department of Justice, with their trial commencing in August 2020. marking the beginning of a legal battle that would determine their fates. Number 4. Vijay Mallya. Vijay Mallya, a former billionaire and notable liquor magnate, was infamous for his extravagant lifestyle and lavish parties. He also owned the now-defunct Indian airline company, Kingfisher Airlines. In 2012, it was revealed that Mallya had accumulated significant debt while attempting to rescue his failing airline business. When he defaulted on payments, Indian banks sought repayment. Mallya's response was to seek asylum in the UK using a diplomatic passport he obtained by becoming a member of the Upper House of Parliament in India. He faced accusations of bank fraud and money laundering, with charges amounting to roughly 90 billion rupees, approximately $1.3 billion. His wealth was substantially diminished when a bankruptcy petition was used to recover $1.145 billion in old debts. As of the time of writing, the remaining funds are yet to be repaid. By the way, if you're enjoying this video, please take a moment to like and subscribe. It really helps us spread the Thrive Wise love, so we can help more people thrive wisely. And going back, number 5. Patricia Klug. Patricia Klug once lived at the pinnacle of high society life, enjoying all the privileges that come with immense wealth. Her journey into affluence began when she married John W. Klug, who was once ranked as Forbes' richest man in the US, with a net worth of $5 billion. However, the couple's divorce led to Patricia receiving a generous settlement of $1 million a year and ownership of the Albemarle estate, located near Thomas Jefferson's Monticello property. The Albemarle estate would become both the rise and eventual fall of Patricia Klug's affluence. She ventured into the wine business by opening the Klug Estate Winery and Vineyard, aiming to turn her property into a lucrative enterprise. Initially, she experienced success as her wines graced the tables of socialites and prominent individuals across the country, even being served at Chelsea Clinton's wedding. Unfortunately, poor investments and placing too much money into the estate just before the housing market crisis led to its seizure by the Bank of America, resulting in Donald Trump acquiring it for a fraction of its value. Patricia Klug's desperate attempts to avoid bankruptcy, including selling her fine jewelry and luxuries, ultimately ended in her filing for Chapter 7 bankruptcy in June 2011. Number 6. Robert Allen Stanford. Robert Allen Stanford orchestrated one of the most extensive investor fraud cases in US history, conning more than 18,000 customers out of their savings. Unlike some other prominent fraudsters, Stanford's victims have yet to be compensated for their losses to this day. Stanford's criminal activities began after his Texas fitness club went bankrupt. He then turned to offshore banking and initiated a scheme that ultimately resulted in massive fraud. Many of his victims were retirees who believed they were making safe investments. In February 2009, the Securities and Exchange Commission raided Stanford Financial Group's headquarters in Houston, charging Stanford and his associates with running a massive ongoing fraud. It was alleged that Stanford had been defrauding investors to fund his lavish lifestyle, resulting in losses of approximately $7 billion for investors. Stanford was convicted of 13 counts in 2012 and is currently serving a 110-year sentence at a high-security prison in Florida. The consequences of his crimes continue to affect his victims, who have yet to recover from their lost millions. Number 7. Bjørgulfur Gudmundsson. Bjørgulfur Gudmundsson, an Icelandic tycoon, amassed his wealth from the brewing industry and even owned the UK football team West Ham. However, in 2009, the man who was once considered the second richest man in Iceland filed for bankruptcy, with his protection filing covering a staggering $759 million in debt. This bankruptcy filing marked the largest in Iceland's history at the time. Gudmundsson's fall from grace was primarily attributed to the plummeting Icelandic economy during the global recession. He and his son Thor both held significant shares in Icelandic bank Landsbanki, which collapsed in 2008. In December of the same year, Forbes revised Gudmundsson's net worth, initially estimated at $1.2 billion, to $0 when the billionaire declared bankruptcy. Thor Gomundsson also dropped from the Forbes list, although he has since made a remarkable comeback, reclaiming most of his fortune. Number 8. Bernard Madoff. Bernie Madoff is a name that will forever be associated with one of the most significant financial scandals in US history. Known as the leader of the largest Ponzi scheme, Madoff managed to fly under the radar for decades before his eventual capture in December 2018. Before the scandal erupted, he and his wife boasted a personal net worth estimated between $823 and $826 million. Today, Bernard Madoff finds himself in a very different situation. He is not only broke, but also serving a life sentence in federal prison, having received a maximum sentence of 150 years. Prior to his incarceration, Madoff renounced most of his assets in a deal with prosecutors, surrendering an estimated $80 million worth of mansions, cars, jewelry, and art. His wife, Ruth Madoff, received $2.5 million as part of the settlement. While Madoff was pushed for an early release due to his terminal kidney disease and the COVID-19 pandemic, prosecutors have consistently declined his pleas, leaving him to serve his sentence in Butner, California. Well, that's basically the shocking downfall of 8 billionaires. And thank you guys so much for watching today's video. And hey, it seems that YouTube thinks that the next video can completely transform your financial situation. Watch it to find out whether they're correct. And please don't forget to click the subscribe button to see more videos on how to thrive wisely. Till next time.